Hopefully the lighting is decent this time and the audio as well. All right. Classic YouTuber thing. Hello, everybody. Or, I don't know. Oh, gosh. Anyway, it's friggin' 1 a.m. It literally just turned. Well, actually, my phone says 1 a.m. This says 12:58. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah. Shoot. I decided to make a video here. Feeling in the mood to make a video, and shoot, may as well talk about something that a commenter brought up recently in one of my videos, which was a good question. Let me make sure let me get the exact words right, because he or she, I don't know, said. Okay, yeah, this festival can use. I have to go. It's still not going to show because it's being stupid. Anyway, they essentially said, how do you distinguish between? Hold on. It was how do you distinguish between? Oh yeah, divine revelation. That's what it was. The question was, how do you distinguish between divine revelation and psychological conviction? And I thought, when I saw this, I thought, that's a good question. I need to really think about that, you know, to give my answer. And so I essentially said that when it comes to a divine revelation, for me at least, I'm just speaking for myself, I don't have to talk myself into the, what would you say? The conclusion, I guess, if that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. This video is unscripted. I'm just doing this off the cuff or off the top of the dome, whatever, like Eminem. Anyway, but yeah, and so I said for me, like, it's just, like, there are certain things, and this is true for me. I'll just see that something's true. It's just like, oh, that's true. And I just know it's true. And so they replied, quite a good reply. They said essentially, I wish I could pull up the comment, but it's this stupid network thing. I can see it on my phone. It doesn't make any sense. My phone's charging though right now, so that's the thing. I'm trying to charge my phone. But they said essentially, then okay, your only like metric or your only way to know if something is true or is like divine revelation is it's all based on your internal. What did they say? They said basically like how strongly you feel about something. And I realized, yeah, that's kind of not a good way. Like, their point was essentially, if you have no way to like test it using some sort of logic, then how can you know? You really can't know. And like, that's a very good point, actually. And because they're right. I forget what was the comment. It was like veal. It started with a V. Anyway. You're right if you're watching this video. And I replied to that comment. I don't know if they saw my comment because I can't pull it up. I'll just pull it up on my phone here in a little while. But hey, just real quick, this is editor Brent here. I'm editing the video right now. Well, not this second, obviously, but I just wanted to add something here that is relevant. Jordan Peterson just uploaded a video of one of his lectures when he was going on tour, and someone asked him a very similar question to the one you asked, Void Novel, which was, they said, how do you know if you're wrestling with God versus wrestling with yourself? And the answer he gave made a lot of sense to me, and so I'll tell you what he said, and then I'll give my thoughts. He said, if it's about you, you're not wrestling with God. And so I would add to that, and I would say for me, the way that I know it didn't come from me, or it's not a delusion, we could say, is it something that I want to hear? Right? So if it's not something I want to hear, it almost certainly didn't come from me. Because how would it? I mean, now you could argue, okay, you can draw lines and go as deep as you want and say, what about this? How do you know this? But again, I think self-knowledge is very important when it comes to your question. And for me, I would say again that, um, like you, okay, so, or first of all, real quick, I was going to say, you could say, what if there's a part of yourself that showed you this truth? So it still came from you. It just didn't come from, like, almost like it came from your future self, maybe. And you could say that, but I think that's overcomplicating it. But I could be wrong. So anyway, I just wanted to make that point. That's really a big thing. I don't want to. This is already 2 minutes long. But yeah, it's for me. If it's something, if it's a truth, or if I feel like I'm seeing a truth, right? Something is being revealed to me, like from God, or from, I don't know, let's say guardian angels or something. Whether, I don't know if you believe they exist or not. And I don't know what you think about Jordan Peterson either. So I may have just like turned you off by mentioning something he said. But if I feel like I've received revelation that came from, let's say, a higher power, something greater than me, I don't see why a good way to test whether or not it actually came from something greater than me is to ask myself honestly, or to just sort of almost observe my reaction. Like, oh, that makes me feel good. Because oftentimes I've received messages, or what I feel like are messages, either through meditation or just, yeah, taking a walk, or, from doing psilocybin mushrooms. And it's not something I want to hear. It's not something I want to believe, but it's like there. It confronts me. And it seems to be true. And I think about it and I think, I don't want that to be true, but it seems to be true. And sometimes, yeah, my only criteria is that I just see it. And I know that's, but that's like during the experience. Afterwards, I will, and I have told people about a number of things that so let's say, for example, experienced on shrooms, things that I feel like I've seen. And people have told me, well, there's one in particular, which I'll discuss at some point if you'd like, but I won't in this video just because I don't want to, I don't exactly believe it's true. I'll say that. I'm still sort of wrestling with it, but I've told a couple of people about that, and essentially, based on the feedback I've got from them, they haven't told me, no, there's no way. Like, that's your delusional thinking. And by the way, and not just, like, I haven't just told my family members, who probably would, or may try to make me feel good, or depends on, I'm relatively close with most of, well, I'd say all of my family. So I do think they would tell me, but I haven't, I've told, well, I'm trying to think with this particular revelation I feel like have I told my family? Well, I've told one of my friends a similar thing. It's actually a revelation, something I perceived a long time ago that was similar to something I saw on shrooms, which is another reason why I think it could be true, because it happened on multiple occasions. One of the times when I was on shrooms, another time when I was not on anything. I was just at work. Anyway, I think I've made a video about this. Oh yeah, actually I talked about it in the last video, the video commented on. Anyway, when I was at Target. So anyway, but like I told my friend about that, for example, my buddy from high school, and his response was, let me see if I can get the exact words. He said, I believe he said, honestly, that doesn't sound too far off to me, were his words. Now there's a difference between doesn't sound too far off and is true or is dead on. There's a difference, but well, that was his response. So make of that what you will. Anyway, I need to cut this. It's already like 6 minutes long. Yeah, I just wanted to add that. Essentially, another good point I feel like is worth making is that if it's something I don't want to hear, at least the present me doesn't want to hear, then to me that seems to be a good indication that there's a high probability that it's true, or at least a greater than 50% probability that it's true. I'll say that. So yeah, anyway, I'll end it there. Just wanted to add this. If you watch this video the whole way through, thank you. Like, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your comments. And I said essentially that, or no, I said essentially that the way, and I had to think about this. Like, I really had to think about this. I was like, that's true. And I said essentially, I mean, because for me, like, I've had a number of hypomanic episodes, not manic episodes, but hypomanic episodes over the past, well, couple years, I would say. Like, yeah, probably right about 2 years. Yeah. Anyway, it's happened. This concussion, I had a concussion a long time ago. My brain's never been the same. I've never been the same after it. In some good ways, but mostly, yeah, bad. In mostly bad ways. And so, but it's okay. I've changed my diet lately to eat more good fat, which the brain needs. So anyway, taking better care of my health. But yeah, and so what I wanted to say about that was, for me, since I know I do have a bit of a manic edge, or a hypomanic edge to be more accurate, I know if, like, I'm able to tell if I'm starting to sort of think a bit delusionally, right? And now, I mean, the thing is too, I guess my mood has been more stable lately, mostly in terms of like not, yeah, like having a hypomanic episode, or although I was having a couple times lately where I've started to get high, sort of, and that's the thing for me. Like, a hypomanic episode for me just feels like I'm just like high, like I'm just like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird because it feels so good, but like ultimately it is not really healthy. You know, I mean, it's a mood disorder, right? It's you know, I kind of suspect I have cyclothymia. And yes, I have spoken to my therapist about this. I am seeing a therapist. Spoken to her about it. She thinks it's possible. I haven't been seeing her for too long, but yeah. Anyway, and so I suspect I may have cyclothymia, but I don't have like full-on bipolar. You know, never been diagnosed with that. I have OCD, although it's getting better, but I do have that, and so yeah. But like okay, my point is, I can tell whenever I'm in a hypomanic episode or starting to, like, about to, you know, I guess be in a hypomanic episode. Like, I can tell when my brain is sort of, I would just say, tuning into that frequency, because ultimately, I mean, everything is frequencies, you know, everything is vibrating, and yeah. And so that's essentially how I know. Like, if I see something to be true, and I know that I'm not in a hypomanic episode, essentially, or yeah, my brain isn't tuned into that frequency to where, like, I might be thinking delusionally, then that's how I know. I mean, and the thing is too, like, it's kind of comparable to, I think I've spoken about this a couple times in a couple of my videos, or at least in one of my videos. And I've talked about how, like, sometimes, at least for me, I'll just kind of see things. I don't know how to, it's tough to explain, like, the way I perceive the world, I guess. I don't know. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some genius, or I don't even think there's such thing as a genius. I think people can be genius in an area. I was just talking to my buddy the other day about this. Like, a person can be, I guess, a genius in this area, or like what they do when it comes to this. Like, I'm looking at my keyboard. Someone could be a genius when it comes to music, like the piano. Oh, he's a genius at the piano. But like, not like just overall a genius. I don't think that's possible. So anyway, because then it would mean that, like, everything they do is genius. If somebody was a genius, I don't know. I go back and forth on it, but I think that's what that would mean. If someone was a genius, or is a genius, that would mean, like, everything they do is genius, pretty much. Or like, no matter what subject it is, they're gonna do something genius. And like, nobody's like that, you know. Like, not even Tesla, or, you know, other, you know, famous, highly intelligent people. And so, yeah, but yeah, and so I'm trying to think. That's essentially how I know if something's divine revelation. Like, God has shown me things and truths, and like I said, like, sometimes I'll just see things to be true. Like, I'll just be like on a walk, and like, it's literally, think about it, if you just go like on a walk and You observe the birds, or just other aspects of nature, and you just see that nature just doesn't force anything. And it's like at that moment you see a truth, right? You see, oh, it's like, oh yeah, nature's just not forcing. It just is. Nature just is. You see a truth. You get what I'm saying? You see that this thing is true. And you're not like in some hyperman. You don't have to think, oh, am I delusional? Like, no, you just see that it's true. And so, I don't know, I think that's a pretty good example. And again, really it has to do, I mean, this is basically what I replied in the comment. It's self-awareness, really. Knowing yourself. Knowing, okay, I'm thinking a little, woo, which I know I can get that way. Like I said, I definitely have a hypomanic edge. So probably a big reason why I enjoy writing anyway. But yeah, and so that's how I know. You know, that's the thing. I believe, now I haven't studied logic super thoroughly, like in depth. I want to actually, but I have some other books I need to read before then. But from what I understand, I mean, there's logical fallacies, right? And there's, I think, like 50 of them, or 50, like around 50 well-known ones, or maybe not well-known, but like main ones. You get what I mean? There's maybe like a handful of like well-known ones, like, I don't know, ad hominem. What was it? Asked ChatGPT one time for like the, I think 5 most common. It was, or the 3 most common. It was like ad hominem, quid pro quo. No, that wasn't one of them. Straw man. It was ad hominem, straw man, and what was the last one? I can't recall. What was it? I think it was, yeah, like black and white thinking, or something similar to that. Yeah, it was like either something is good or it's bad. Yeah, so it was something like that. Yeah. Anyway, but I do believe, like I would say, I certainly believe that logic can only go so far. And especially when it comes to God, it's like, how can you explain God? Like, it's just trying to use logic. I believe, like, logic can go very far, I think. But I think it only goes so far. I don't know. My perspective, like, I'll probably change my opinions on some of this stuff. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't studied. Like, at some point, maybe I'll change my opinions a bit on this, but maybe when I studied logic more in depth. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I believe logic, it can't work for anything, if that makes sense. Or it only goes so far, essentially, right? And so, yeah, I think those were the main points I wanted to make. Again, sorry, this video is probably kind of all over the place, but this is unscripted, and I'm just talking off the top of my head, really. I mean, it's literally 1:09 a.m. right now, so yeah, I mean, or more like 1:11, because my computer's, it's like 2 minutes behind. Anyway, so yeah, hope this made sense. I just thought may as well make a video. I mean, like I said, it was quite a nice commenter. I wish I could, it's great. Let me just grab my phone so I can like shout you out. I don't know, maybe this video will get some views, but yeah, so, oh man, I blow my nose too, but let's see here, this nice commenter. Oh, look, I got another subscriber. I'm getting some subs. It's because these cat videos I'm posting. People like them. You guys like the cat videos. But, yeah, did I white balance this properly? I thought I did, but whatever, it's okay. Let's see, let me find these comments. That's a nice comment. That's a really nice comment. Look at that, 36 likes, 547 views in an hour and 19 minutes. Like, the internet loves pets. Like, I was literally talking to Nick Miller, my buddy. It's like a grown adult. He's like 11 years older than me. The other day, and he was like, the internet just loves pets, because he's posted some videos of his dog. And so anyway, let's see here. I don't know if they replied to my. Okay, Void Novel. That's kind of a cool name. I like that. Anyway, Yeah, how do you distinguish divine revelation from psychological conviction? Okay, let me read this word for word. May as well, even though I should have done this at the beginning. Who cares? If the thought came from God, divine revelation. If it came from me, psychological conviction. When something is a divine revelation, there's no need to convince logically that it's true. Anyway, I simply see that it's true, and then I said convince myself logically, because I had trouble typing it. Yeah, and they said, so that creates a perfect logical loop, doesn't it? Which I don't know what the logical loop is exactly, but this reasoning leaves you with a major epistemic blind spot. You see, if your only metric for identifying a thought from God is that you simply see that it is true without needing logic, then your proof of divine revelation is just the intensity of your own internal certainty. That's right, yeah, those are the words. The intensity of your own internal certainty. So I'm going to set you up with the problem. Every person in history who has ever suffered from a severe psychological delusion also claimed they simply saw that it was true. Is that true? Every one of them, I guess. And felt zero need for logic. From inside your own head, how do you objectively distinguish between a genuine message from God and a highly pattern-seeking human brain that merely feels 100% certain? If you don't have a test for that, you aren't listening to God, you are just listening to an echo chamber of your own mind. Okay, so, and why is that in quote marks? Sorry, maybe he didn't mean to do that. Okay, so, yeah, let's see. Okay, well, I think I pretty much answered. I'm trying to make sure I address everything. Wait, so, let's see. Okay, so, yeah. Suffered from a severe psychological delusion. Also claims they simply saw that it was true and felt zero need for logic. Yeah, well, again, so yeah, I think, again, just going back to knowing yourself. Like, I know myself pretty well. I'm not going to say I know myself. I mean, no one knows himself perfectly. If you think you know yourself perfectly, you probably need help. But, like, I know I don't know myself perfectly, but I know myself pretty well at this point. I mean, I'm 22 years old. I've learned a lot about myself and how I am. So, yeah, like, I think it really comes back to that, or comes down to that, I guess. It really feels. Yeah, highly pattern-seeking human really feels 100% certain. I mean, and I do think, and I actually said this in my comment, asking other people is also a good thing to do, right? You talk to other people about it, and if they say, you sound a little like you're off your rocker, then that's you should stop and think, okay, like that's kind of how you know, okay, maybe I'm just, yeah, I feel 100% certain, but I'm just seeking patterns, essentially, yeah. Just listening to it. Very good point, yeah. If you don't have a test for that, you're not listening to God, you're just listening to an echo chamber of your own mind. Great point. Again, I'm so glad this person commented on my video. Like, someone who actually thinks, and like, I don't know, like I should sub to this person. I wonder if they have any videos. I'll have to look them up. So yeah, I would say, again, knowing yourself and talking to other people. And that's how I do it personally. Like, that's how I do it, because I will have thoughts, and sometimes I'll be like, that can't be true, or could that be true? Like, I feel like it's true, but then I'll be like, and I'll talk to people, and it'll help me think, yeah, I think that's just me being a little, so yeah, but yeah, and I've done shrooms a number of times. I think I talked about that in this video, which is like an hour and 50 minutes long. I'm assuming he or she didn't watch the whole video. Probably, let's be honest, it's probably a guy. You know, males are more interested in ideas. Generally. So yeah, and philosophy and that sort of thing. So yeah. All right. I think I addressed everything here. It's just the intensity of your own internal certainty. Yeah, it's true. I mean, he's right. It's like, he's definitely right. But yeah, I think I addressed it. Essentially, knowing myself and yeah, speaking to other people about it. That's the thing. Like, I think it's a really big reason why socialization is so important. Because of the fact that, other people can, and I guess should, tell us when we're wrong about something, or when we're probably wrong about something, you know, and when we're just, yeah, potentially, you know, being delusional, thinking delusionally, potentially, which apparently delusionally is not a word. Anyway, but it should be. Void novel. I gotta look this dude up. Okay. Oh, so he's got some subs. Hold on. Doesn't have any content. What do you mean? 145 videos. Oh, he's got a bunch of shorts. Huh. Yeah, I'm a sub to him. Hold on. He makes like art and stuff. Not surprising. Okay, I see. Yeah. Full scale IQ. Wow. Okay. Dude, this dude's pulling some views. Like not a ton of. Well, overall a ton of views. Like a few thousand over a bunch of videos. Wow, this is cool. Dude, I gotta check this dude out. Huh, it's crazy, man. Look at this guy. Anyway, definitely like is pretty good at thinking. But yeah, so, all right, I don't want to drag on this video forever like I do a bunch of my videos, even though this video's already been like, I don't know, 20 plus minutes long. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Again, this was unscripted. I need to shut up and end this video. There's a freaking fly in my room. That's okay. Have an amazing day / night. I gotta get some sleep, and yeah, love y'all. Thanks for watching my videos. Thank you to Void Novel for that comment. It was very good, thought-provoking. Yeah, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye. All right, cool.